We're the ones that make the first Jason.
That's awesome.
Sauce, so I was like, oh, that's all he does is slap a label. I thought he was like, oh, this is the ingredient.
Did you really think he was handling the peppers?
Just you know, when I first
just like a mama used to make. Yeah. we were doing it, and then it went off the first time. Then it went off the second time, and then it went off a third and fourth. And I'm like, Jesus, someone really needs to reach you. Yeah. Maybe you should get that.
maybe we should take 5.
Yeah, we'll take the 15 now.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Hi, you get enough?
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Welcome to Coffee Tyme.
Episode, I don't know.
I don't know. Episode, whatever you want to call it.
All right, Coffee Tyme, episode 11, maybe. All you gotta know is that it's season 2, guys, brand new season. And today I have Andy and Tom from the band Armored Assault. Hello.
How are you doing?
It's them, guys.
We're here.
Woo!
Thank you, thank you.
Now, it's been a while, not only since I've seen you, but I feel like you guys gone away for a little bit. Would that be safe to say?
Yeah.
You took a bit of a break. I remember, you know, the post announcement when you guys added, was it 1 or 2 new members?
2.
2?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, 2.
2 new members?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you guys want to, like what happened? You know, you guys
Sure.
Elaborate a little bit.
So for a while there, we had our guitarist Mark was jamming with us, and it was the lineup was me, Tom, our drummer Mark, who's still in the band, our other guitarist Mark, and our bass player Elliot. Mark was, I mean, he went to school for like classical guitar and all that kind of stuff. He was definitely getting much more into like a funky kind of guitar vibe.
Okay.
So I think he was kind of, he still loved jamming, but I think he was definitely kind of...
I think he was kind of getting bored.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Like, the good thing about, you know, our scene is that there's so many different, like, niches that you can grab onto.
Yeah.
You know? I had Misanthropy in here, you know, Predator. They're very, very, like, progressive tech death with jazzy elements.
Yeah.
You know?
And Mark definitely helped us bring a lot of different elements to our music, which
he just kind of got us out of our comfort zone.
Yeah,
we were doing stuff that we normally
wouldn't
do. So
which it was definitely cool. I was gonna say it worked well, but I think after a while we kind of
ran its course.
We kind of also were starting to go a little bit like too far outside, where we were just like, let's start experimenting with this and let's start doing this. We were just like, we should kind of like hone our craft and make sure that we start playing shit that we're happy with, but like isn't all over the place. Like
definitely.
Yeah. So Mark, I mean, he just told us that he really wasn't feeling it as much, and he wanted to kind of try and do something a bit more like, like I said, kind of like funky. I don't know if you've heard of bands like Lettuce or any of that. Like it's a much more like funk kind of jammy kind of music. So he was totally cool with it, and we were totally cool with it. So his uncle Tony,
Uncle Tony.
He actually jammed with us for a while before Mark joined the band, and he was kind of a fill-in.
He was a part-time, you know, just fill-in.
So his uncle's in the band now?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mark left, and we hit up Tony, and we were like, hey man, like, you want to jam? And it just worked out this time where he was able to commit full time. And so yeah, it was actually like surprisingly easy, like quick and easy to replace Mark.
Yeah.
And Tony, he'd been jamming with us for years for when we do our Metallica stuff on the side. We do Metal Up Your Ass.
Oh, right.
It's just a Metallica cover band. And so he'd been doing that with us, so it was just an easy transition, you know.
He was already comfortable with you guys.
Yeah.
So we got him in, and when Mark quit, we were in the middle of recording, and so we got Tony in, got Tony up to speed on everything, and then we ended up scrapping a couple of the songs that Mark had written, because we just kind of, just didn't feel right playing them anymore without him in the band.
Oh yeah.
So we wrote some new stuff to replace that, and then we get going on all of that, and then our bass player Elliot decided he didn't want to do it anymore, so he left, and so we were kind of like, all right, well now we gotta
now you gotta find a bass player.
Yeah, we gotta find a new
let's
bass
ask his
player.
uncle.
Yeah. Get a family trio. Yeah, get a whole band.
That one took a little longer to get that taken care of, but eventually we found Billy McDonald. We auditioned a few different guys, and we ended up going with him and got him up to speed on things. And yeah, now we're looking forward to March to go record and finally get this thing out that it's taken what, like 2.5 years and 2 band members.
Yeah, honestly, it's been a lot of just like build up, and then it's like, all right, now we got to regroup, and then now it's nice to be like, all right, we're going in the studio, we're gonna hit the ground running, just because like we've also had now like 2 years to figure out what we want to do. So.
And you were talking about you had your former guitar player's material, which that's always dicey because it's one of those things like when this happens in every band. When they leave, like, all right, well, how are we going to split up the kids? So to speak,
I mean, there's still some of his riffs are definitely still floating around in some songs, but the couple we got rid of, he straight up wrote them front to back.
And Mark was totally cool with us.
Using them. He said he's like, play them, use them.
But it's also one of those things where like the styles are a bit different from what we would write, where like it might not sound good on a record with other things that we might put on a record. So like it is a bit different. Like Mark definitely had a lot more progressive kind of out there riffs, where I mean some of the other stuff we write, it might not sound cohesive like on the same album. So
he leaves and you choose not to use those songs. But I'm sure you guys were already sitting on a bunch of material for 2 years.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. So that's, I mean, we were working on some tracks with Mark, and obviously, Mark helped us work on those tracks. But even once he left, I mean, we've already worked. We have like at least a few songs that were finished for the new album.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have a couple more that like we're working on to like finish up. Whether or not they'll be on the album, I don't know. But like, I mean, we want to make sure that they're ready. Like that's the thing too. Is like, definitely don't want to be one of those bands that plays a show like when you're like kind of familiar with the song.
Not only that, but if you're in the studio and you're still trying to figure it out, that could be dicey too. Yeah. So you definitely want to go into that situation just ready to go.
Just ready to
save yourself some money.
Yeah, you know all your parts and what you want to do here and there, and you're not really wasting time and wasting money.
Before we move any further, I always forget about this, but for this episode, we are drinking the Crusadist Hammer at Dawn coffee. Look at the drinking it. Delicious.
Damn good.
Very
coffee.
good.
Crusadist, in collaboration with the Strong Coffee Company, and I think Texas, have decided to come up with this. It's the Hammer at Dawn coffee. And the back says, battalions of madmen stormed the tyrant's castle in attempts to eradicate the bloodline of the false king. Fearless warriors fought throughout the night and claimed their victory by serving the head of he who wears the crooked crown. God damn.
You can taste it.
This make a good video.
You can taste the
bloodshed.
Yeah.
And the back, the bloodshed. It's bloodshed with a hint of walnuts.
Delicious.
But yeah, a light-bodied Colombian coffee with notes of caramel and walnuts. That's exactly what I said. Caramel, bloodshed, and walnuts. So that's the coffee.
It's good.
It's very good. So, all right, back to where we left off. Your bass player. Now, you're the new one. Now, is he in any other bands notable?
What the hell's the name of his other band? Billy is he's
notable. No,
he's real big into punk and ska music.
Okay.
And I've known Billy since like 7th grade. I've known him forever.
Yeah.
And he's just always been into punk and ska. He was never a real big metalhead, and so it kind of threw us a curveball when like he came to us. You know, when we posted, that we were looking for a bass player, and he was like, yeah, let's jam. I'm like, oh, okay. Like wasn't expecting that from him, and yeah, we were jamming with him, and he killed it. Everything that we asked of him to learn, he learned it all by ear. And showed up to jam, and he had everything down perfect. So it was a very pleasant surprise.
That's awesome.
But I feel like an asshole because I can't remember the name of his other band that he's in.
It's I don't want to say like the wrong punk band and have to be like, no, sorry, you guys fucked up.
It's okay.
We'll have to come back here. We'll bring Billy with, and he can talk about it.
Or if you want, you can after all this, you can figure out what the band is, and I can plug it in the
Can you just like dub it in and post?
His band name is
right there. It's here magically.
With that graphic design,
or it'll say still unknown.
Yeah, that's one of those things. It's very cool because I come kind of like from a similar situation. I was in a band called Dark Entropy, and we were thrash, but we were definitely like that band that like it's your first band. It's not exactly polished, it's not exactly perfect, but I came to Vicious Attack and I'm like, holy shit, like I'm not ready to play, everything is 220 and up, BPM, and I'm like, oh Jesus, I gotta practice. So I practiced my ass off to be able to even play in Vicious Attack, because you want it that bad,
Oh yeah.
So
I'd definitely say just throughout this whole process, like playing with Mark, playing with Elliot, playing with these people and playing with certain musicians, it definitely makes you a better musician.
Definitely.
Whether or not they stay in the band or they go and do something else, dude, playing with Mark for the time that we played with Mark, he definitely made us a better...
It was, like 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, he definitely made us a tighter band.
Yeah, he made me a better guitar player. He made Mark, our drummer, a better drummer. He made Elliot a better bass player. Like, he pushed us, like I said, out of our comfort zone. And we had to, really try to make all that stuff work. And, it was a good thing, for sure.
Now that you say that, now I can kind of see it. Like, the different influences and maybe like... what was the first your first full length? What's it called? The Beast?
Dead Before Dawn.
Dead Before Dawn. Okay, so I remember the first time I saw you, it was at the Underground Lounge. Correct. We established that off the camera.
Yeah.
It was in just this very dingy north side venue, and it's great location, but unfortunately it competes with all the douche bro bars around it. And if a Wrigley, guy is going to go to anywhere, it's not going to be...
It's not going to be the little metal bar in the basement.
Exactly. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. But I remember I went down there and I saw these guys, I think probably for the first time, and you guys were playing a song, and there was almost like a circus or a calliope kind of feel to one of the songs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably Call the Beast.
Call the Beast.
Call the Beast.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the title track off the second album, because it definitely has a bit of a a dark circus kind of breakdown.
It's
like a waltz.
It's in 3/4.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
very waltzy.
I remember thinking that, just like being like, oh my god, that's awesome when you see a band do stuff like that, because it's like, you take a break just for a second, and then you go right back into, brutality.
And
so
honestly, even before Mark, we've always kind of been
we've never been afraid to do that, to kind of chill out.
Oh yeah,
definitely. For a few measures, and
on our first album,
come right back into it.
On our first album, we had a song that's like 11 minutes, and it's a pretty like bluesy jam kind of song. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people love it. We don't really play it anymore, but it's
forever. But that's the middle section of that song is like 6 or 7 minutes of just improv.
Yeah, and that's we've always been down to do stuff like that, but it's just. Like you said, it is fun. Like you said, it kind of it takes you a little bit out of your comfort zone, but
keep it interesting though. You're not just doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Even with my band Vicious Attack, we are very much a one-trick pony. But if we can write, something a little different next time that takes it out of it slightly, that's always been my goal, writing.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having like your own style or like your own sound, but like there's something I think, wrong when it's the same sound.
Right, yeah.
Like, I mean, when every song sounds the same. Like, there's nothing wrong with, like, having your sound, but, like, no, like, you shouldn't have your songs sound the same. Like,
oh, yeah. It's like having every one of your songs, like, just, blast beating through it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, all right, I get it. You know, you want to vary it up a little
but
bit.
I don't know, stuff like that, I feel like you should kind of, like, tastefully sprinkle it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah, you want to showcase definitely your musical abilities, you know.
Oh, yeah. That's why even, like, lyrically sometimes, like, I don't mind taking a break from doing vocals just so, like, people can hear them jam on shit, too. Like, I mean, I feel like sometimes there are those bands where it's just, like, vocals all the time, and it's just, like, remember that it's still, like, a band behind you that's playing their music.
Oh, for sure. All right, so we'll take it back for a second. You've thrown some names out there. Let's name the full lineup, first of all.
Current lineup?
Current lineup.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, we got Billy McDonald as a new bass player.
Right.
We got Mark Sutner on drums. Tony Notardonato on guitar.
Uncle Tony.
Uncle Tony. Andy Pendelski on vocals and Tommy Bellino on guitar.
And if you guys have never heard them, what would you say your style is? Because this is kind of hard to place in itself.
Yeah.
You know?
I always like asking people what they think our style is because I'm not sure what it is. I can tell you all of our like influences and like how the band came together and
all right,
and whatnot.
let's do that.
I mean, all right. So
you two are original members, correct? Would you say?
I'm actually not.
He's the second singer.
Yeah.
Me and Mark, the drummer, are the only two original. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we started out. Oh, geez, like 2000, 2001, 2002, just jamming in my parents' garage after school when we were in high school, and it was just Metallica covers, and that's why we do we do Metal Up Your Ass. We do the Metallica cover band on the side, just because. Like we started out just playing those songs, you know, and then eventually we started writing our own stuff, and it just it turned into whatever Armored Assault is now. But yeah, I mean we all share that background in just I don't know, just 80s thrash metal, Metallica, Megadeth, you know, Slayer, Anthrax, Annihilator, Testament. So like that's like the foundation, but then you got all the newer influences.
What are some of your newer influences?
Oh man, I know like Tony, he's into like Protest the Hero, Polyphia, a lot of like I got a lot of still very progressive stuff.
I'm real big into Opeth.
Did you go to the show the other day?
I did not, unfortunately.
There was two shows.
Yeah, the Lamb of God was that night too.
Yeah. I was at the Lamb of God show. That was a good show.
I was at home watching everyone's live feed of Opeth. 'Cause, I didn't get tickets for that. But
I had tickets to Lamb of God, but I had a double to work the next day at work, and I was like, oh God, do I want to sleep or do I want to go see Lamb of God, who are probably going to play a bunch of old songs that they don't play, you know? Did they?
It was a good show.
It was a good show.
No, honestly, they played a lot of a lot of good songs off the first few albums too, man. They only played the one new song, the single.
Good.
They played that one that was the 512 or something. Yeah.
Off of don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but they played a lot of old stuff too. I mean, they played Ruin, Laid to Rust. I mean, it was. They played Ashes of the Wake. Like, I mean, it was...
Oh, it's awesome.
It was a good show.
Okay, sorry to sidetrack us, Opeth.
So I guess, I don't know, to sum us up, I mean, just progressive thrash.
I mean, I always tell people progressive thrash. I know our buddy Chris, one time he's like, just tell people metal. Like, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, that's because we do cover a lot of ground. Like, we're not just like a thrash metal band by any means.
I mean, we definitely do have parts that sound like death metal parts. We definitely do have parts that sound thrashy. We have parts that sound even a little bit like black metal. We have parts that sound, like waltzy. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's...
bluesy.
Yeah, bluesy. Like, I mean,
jam song. We got... Yeah, we're just kind of all over the place. So it's hard to...
No, that's good.
I don't know what to... You know, how to bundle that up into a subgenre. I don't know what the hell we even play. It almost, I don't know. It almost changes from song to song. kind of. So I mean, I don't know. There's a common element there, which is the thrash.
Yeah.
Kind of glues it all together. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell we play.
A little bit of everything. So yeah, that's why we usually just say like progressive thrash. Just because again, at the root of it, it's
progressive in there, and it's like we just everything that isn't thrash we do.
Right. Okay, so we kind of touched upon a little bit of everybody's, including your influences. How about yours? You got any?
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know.
With vocalists, it's a little different. You could say like, all right, obviously he would listen to Metallica or like Slayer or whatever, but with vocalists, it's definitely a lot different.
Yeah, I mean, I've always listened to metal. I mean, I listen to a lot of different stuff though too. I mean, I listen to like Sublime, Run the Jewels. I mean, even like NWA or like. I mean, I listen to LL Cool J's Rock the Bells radio like way too much. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I love metal, so that's I love even like I love like 80s thrash. So I love Testament, but I love like New Testament too. Like Testament keeps putting out great albums.
They really do.
Yeah,
just like keep getting heavier and heavier.
I don't know what the latest one is, but the one before that, Dark Roots of the Earth.
Yeah,
I thought that was really good,
dude. Yeah, and the single they released for the new album, Hunt of the Witch, or I forget, something to do with Witch, Night of the Witch.
Their artwork is also great.
Yeah, and they're an awesome live band. I feel like that's one band that like doesn't get enough credit for being just like a solid band throughout the years. Yeah, I mean, even like new metal. I mean, actual new metal. Like back in the day, like I loved like Cold Chamber and like even like Limp Bizkit and all that kind of stuff. I mean, growing up
listening to Limp Bizkit on the way back.
I was gonna say honestly, yeah. Growing up, I don't know. I listened to everything. So now, I mean, I don't let that kind of interfere with when I write stuff. Like I love writing stuff that is just sometimes heavy, but I love stuff that kind of has like a little bit of a bounce to it, or like.
So you don't necessarily wear your influences on your sleeve, then you would say?
No, not at all. Yeah, I was just say I definitely listen to a lot of different, even like goofy shit. But yeah,
if you guys have never heard what they sound like, your vocals definitely I can't place them to anybody else. They are very unique.
Thank you. Yeah,
I will say that. What would you say that they're close to, if you could? Like you're not death metaling it up. I feel like.
You're really fucking loud.
Yeah,
like that's your style.
Honestly, that's the first thing they'll usually say when I check my vocals, and like they'll have me just cut them out of the monitor.
We try to cut him out of the monitors, out of the wedges when we play live, because he can monitor himself just from the mains pointing out into the crowd. He's just so damn loud.
That's good though, because you know what, we were talking about the band, one of the bands we shared this room with, Spare Change.
Oh yeah.
The vocalist Brian has an extremely loud voice when he's singing, and his style isn't like growling. It's definitely more yelling, but he projects. Like so that even if his mic is turned down as low as possible, everyone can hear him.
Yeah, honestly, even when I talk, I project, and I talk pretty loud. So it's one of those things like when we do the Metallica covers, I hate when we do Sanitarium. Like I've said it on stage, like, they know it. Like I hate it, and I think part of the reason is because like the vocals are so soft at points, and he doesn't like project all the time. Where it's just like vocally, it's a hard song for me to like not project it. Where it's just like
to dial it down.
Yeah, where it's just like parts of that song just like. Like when you fucking belt it, man. Like, but yeah, no, I appreciate that because I definitely do try and pull from different stuff and really
just kind of make it your own.
Yeah, not make it sound like it again, where every song is going to sound like that's the vocals from that last song. Like,
yeah, I love growling vocals, but I do love vocals that vary a little bit.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
I had one show. Our old roommate Derek, I think his cousin or something was at the show, and she came up to me after the show and she was like, "Oh man, you sound exactly like the dude from Lamb of God." And I was just like,
I remember that show.
Like, I don't know if that's a compliment or like if you're like.
how to take that.
Yeah, like sometimes saying stuff like that, it's one of those things that's like...
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it means that it's like, oh, everybody's trying to do that.
Exactly, it's just like, I don't know if that's... Thank you, sort of.
Hey, they're big, so...
That's what I mean, at the same time, it's like, well, I guess I'm doing that right.
Right, like, I'll take it, you know? All right, so, we've established, I guess your style is being loud. Where does your lyrical content come from when you're writing songs?
Honestly, I watch a lot of horror movies. I like comics. I'm not like a huge comic nerd, but I like comics. I'm a big fan of The Punisher.
Nice.
Actually, the song that we just wrote, it has a lot to do with like a Punisher theme. But I mean, as far as lyrically and like vocally, a lot of times it's just like if I think of like cool lines or something, like I mean, I'll kind of go off of that. Like we have a song called Blood Queen, and honestly, it was based off the imagery of imagining just like a queen just like drenched in blood and like the power she can have, and like sometimes it's just like going with like imagery and like thinking of words to write that might have to do with that and being like, how can I make this image in other people's heads just through lyrics. Other times, I mean, it's just fun shit or like I mean, I never really get super political. To me, that's one of those things where I don't want to shove my views or anything like that down people's throats. I feel like metal's one of those things where it should be fun. Like you should be there to have a good time, whether you're talking about death or drinking beer or whatever you're doing. Like I mean, it's a party.
It all has its place.
Or Super Mario Brothers, Toxic Tower. Our song Toxic Tower is definitely based off of Super Mario Brothers.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, speaking of Lamb of God, most of their music is political. A lot of it is political.
Yeah.
Megadeth. It all has its place, but I feel also a lot of people. That's the reason why some like the style of party thrash is a thing, because people sometimes go to music to escape all that.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you hear about all that shit in the news.
Yeah.
Even like with people at work or at home. Like I mean, sometimes you can't escape it. Where you want to be able to go to a show and not think about the shit that just happened yesterday, or like you know what I mean, or like people's political views about certain agendas. Like I mean, I don't care. I'm here to see you play music. Like
you're on Facebook, pretty much 24/7. You see it all day.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's definitely oversaturated. So, all right, you're not really thinking of like, some bands, like I think when I had Misanthropy on here, the last release that they had was definitely more of a, not Misanthropy, sorry, Predator. Theirs is definitely more of a concept album, Crusaders kind of rides on that concept of like a lot of mythology, well, maybe mythology, but, swords and knights and, battles. So you guys definitely, it's all over the place,
Yeah, I'd say a bit more. I mean, we definitely. You've made jokes before. Like a lot of song titles, when I end up like doing it, it's like it has like death or blood or something. Like I think we have a lot of songs that have blood in it.
Metal.
But that's I mean, like I don't know. Sometimes it's just like you think like, well, what's fucking more metal than just like. I don't know, like war or like shit like that, where it's not always the reason for war, it's the act of war.
Exactly.
So like, I mean, to me it's I'd rather talk about that than the reason, because to me, no matter what the reason is, there's still the act. So like it's to me, we don't really, I don't know, we've never really tried to do like a concept album, but like that's also a lot of work to me.
Yeah. It is a lot of work, I imagine also, especially on you, just trying to tie everything together,
Because I feel like you have to have, obviously, like a general concept, but then, to like tie that all together in different songs, and I mean...
Yeah, it's got to be one just big-ass song.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
I mean, Between the Buried and Me definitely, I think, have mastered that kind of, where like everything they do now is almost like a concept album.
Yeah.
Where, I don't know, to me... not to like get on Between the Buried and Me, but I still love like Alaska. Like I still love
Alaska is my favorite album.
Like just it doesn't have to have like a necessary story. I don't mind it. Like I mean it's awesome, but like sometimes like just tunes is tunes.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, I've never been part of any kind of conceptual album. You know, but to people who can and do that,
so
great.
much respect. I was gonna say, I imagine it's a very accomplished kind of feeling, because that's a lot of work, and I would say to me it's a lot of like preparation and like planning. Like that's But those are I would say I feel like that's one of those things where like certain people are made for that. Like they have just big ideas. It's almost like movies and like long fucking those series that go on forever and ever, where it's just like some people, they know what they want to do. Yeah, I would say Game of Thrones, shit like that. Like they know their message and they know how they can get it across in this amount of time. Some people, they like to expand on it, and like, I mean, I think we do that, but we also, I don't know, we don't make it like a thing where every song is going to expand on the next. Like we like each song to kind of be its own song too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it works also when you're doing shows. You don't necessarily have to pick anything based on, like, all right, well, on the concept album we had this song going into this song, so we should try to keep it that way. You're free to do essentially whatever you want, you know? And, who's to say that even matters? Because a lot of people, you know, the first time they're listening to you, they're not going to get the message immediately.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Honestly, we used to, back in the day, we had a lot more songs that, I mean, we've kind of scrapped now over the years, but we used to have, I'm sure you remember, the
different set lists.
The different set lists for, like...
Depending on who we were playing with.
Really?
And, like, what we felt like the
genre kind of fit more.
So
like,
we had, like, a more thrashy set, and then, like, a more proggy set, and, like, a more just straight metals. And, like, we had these different set lists depending on who we were playing with to try and, like, fit into whatever that night was going to be, or what we thought it was going to be.
Definitely. You know what? I'm also in Central Disorder, and our sound is very melodic, death metal-y, you know?
Yeah.
And there's been times where we played, like, a bill with just, like, these insane tech, just, you know, extremely tech death, progressive, you know, and it's like, oh, shit, we need to grab, because we have songs in E-flat standard, drop B-flat, drop D-flat, and then A-flat. So we were like, all right, grab the 7 strings. We gotta play a whole set of 7 strings now.
It's true though, yeah. Like, I mean, sometimes, especially if you really want to grab the audience, you kind of have to play to the audience.
Kind of cater to them.
It's definitely a move that's smarter, you know.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I think it was one of those things that we kind of, I mean, it made it just easier for us to like have those already kind of separated, because like we were talking about earlier, like we definitely did write songs that were kind of all over the spectrum. So. Having it separated like that was really helpful for, like we knew we were going to be playing with a band that was much more proggy. It's like, well, maybe we shouldn't play any songs that are like more death metal.
Right.
Because, those people are going to turn around and go outside and have a cigarette while we're doing something super heavy.
And it also goes in that territory where, like, if you know for a fact you're not going to fit, that's when you have to really start, like, during songs, like, cracking jokes, you know?
Yeah.
Trying to pull everybody in, so even a person who's might not necessarily be interested will at least sit around to hear what you have to play.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've definitely played to audiences like that where people come up to us after and have definitely said, like, never seen a metal band or been to a metal show, and, like, they were really impressed. And it's like, I mean, it's always like a cool feeling too, to like have someone say like that's not what I expected to hear, and that they enjoyed it. Not that it was shit.
That's when you said, I don't know, man, we messed up 1,000 times. It's part of that, you know. You gotta keep yourself humble.
From our last show there, we had our buddy Rick, who's in Extraction Point. He did photos for us.
I know those guys.
One of the pictures is of me headbanging, but I'm like smiling mid headbang, and I was just like, yeah, that's definitely a smile of me. I like just fucking up. Like, there's one thing I've noticed is chances are if you catch a picture of me like smiling during the set, I probably fucked something up. Like,
yeah.
Other than that, like you're like, oh yeah, I'm into this. Like yeah.
Oh yeah. It is funny. Like at the end, we're like, oh, we fucked that part up. We fucked that part up. We fucked that part up, and nobody notices. You know, you're the only ones who essentially notice.
Yeah.
You know? You're your worst critic. Exactly.
Yeah. Your best friends who've seen you 100 times will be like, dude, best show ever, and you're like, nope.
You're like, okay.
Glad you think so.
Yeah. All right. So let's dial it back. Back to what I was saying when I first saw you guys. It was at the Underground Lounge. Mm-hmm. You know, I saw you. I'm like, oh, awesome. You know. I remember your purple, or at the time I thought it was purple.
Yeah,
it's actually red. And the next thing that really stuck out to me is when you guys released Call of the Beast, right?
Yeah.
The artwork. The artwork was phenomenal for that album. You know?
We have a buddy of ours. His name is Andre. I'm not even going to say his last name because I'll butcher it. He lives in Croatia. So
there you go.
It's something.
Got a couple backwards K's.
Yeah, J's and V's and weird marks. Yeah. He honestly hit us up originally.
Mm-hmm.
He did our logo.
Yeah.
Really? Because we had posted something.
Not even looking for artwork. I think he just saw the artwork from the first album.
Yeah, it was years ago. I forget how exactly that played out. But yeah, he basically made the current Armored Assault logo that we've been using for, the last 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, easily.
He just made it and sent it to us. It was like, hey, like, do you guys like this? And we're like, yeah, it's fucking awesome. So we bought it from him, and he's been doing all of our artwork ever since.
Yeah. He's been great, man. Honestly, so easy to work with.
Awesome,
and
dude.
Again, he puts out quality work. I know even before then, like he mentioned bands that he worked with. I saw you have a Havoc side. Like he's done artwork for Havoc, and like I mean. Children of Bodom, I remember he
something for Megadeth too.
He was giving us like his list of people he worked with, and I'm like, dude, you made a cool logo. We don't give a shit who you worked with. Like, I mean, it was awesome.
Dude, you did it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, now that you say that, the Armored Assault logo is like, it's perfect because it's not like one way, you know, this way or one way that way. Like, it's not a thrash logo. It's not like the squiggly line.
My favorite part is that you can actually
you can read it.
You can read it and you know what it says.
Exactly. That's the one thing. It's like, okay, right there. You could see that. You could read that.
Yeah.
You know, it's pointy, but it's also readable. You know. So it's you get into that territory.
It's not a pile of twigs.
Right. Yeah. It's not like, you know, like super crazy. You know.
Yeah. Which. I mean, yeah, you see some of those, and it's just like, I get it. It is cool to an extent, but like...
Right.
But like, you can't tell what the fuck it says.
When I see those logos regularly and I can't make out what it says, like, to me, that's... I don't know. That's
bad marketing.
I would say, you're not helping your band at that point.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, so that makes more sense now why the artwork is so awesome, too.
Yeah, no, he's done a great job. And
he's super easy to work with. Any ideas we have, we send his way, and he always incorporates what we want into the artwork. And if it's not quite right, we bounce ideas back and forth, and he always ends up nailing it, though. So
yeah, we already have working artwork for the new album, and I mean...
Is it with him?
Yeah, and dude, he's done killer work. Like, honestly, once it's, like... It's always great to see it when you see it, but, like, when you actually see it on, like, the finished product, it's just such, like, a great feeling.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, this one, it's looking really cool. Honestly, the artwork for that last one was good, but the next one's going to be even better.
All right, sweet. All right, so, yeah, artwork's awesome. You guys have plans with the same person to do artwork for that. It's obviously not done yet, right?
The album?
The album artwork?
Oh, the artwork?
The artwork's all finished.
I think we have a couple songs he has to add, so track list and stuff.
A couple things.
Oh, wow.
But like, everything like artwork-wise is done.
Yeah, now we just have to actually record the album.
Yeah. This is also one of those things now, with going back to previously, we had started talking to him about this now over a year ago, about like working on artwork and our ideas for it. So I mean, this is something like again, he's been super cool.
This was all done up for
when Mark was in the
band. Mark was still in the band, and we had started recording, and then he left, We got Tony, you know, that whole thing.
Uncle Tony.
Uncle Tony. So we already had the artwork going for that recording that we were working on, and now like we're just
ready to roll.
Yeah, we got all the artwork done. We got to revise a couple things like the track listing and who's actually in the band now.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
But yeah, that's all done. We get into the studio the first weekend of March over at the Nook.
At the Nook. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you know Nick.
Record with him.
Oh okay.
Oh yeah, no, Nick's a cool guy.
Yeah, Nick's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he does great work too. So go to the Nook.
Yeah, go to the Nook.
I'll show you what we recorded with them with my other band.
Nice, yeah, no,
Cool.
and Nick's an awesome guy to work with too. Like, I mean, we did actually record our first album with him, Dead Before Dawn. We recorded that with him. The Call the Beast album we did with our buddy Wookie.
Oh yeah, all right.
I just say who unfortunately passed away. Well, I mean, was murdered.
That's a whole other.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. But again, we were really close with Wookie, so I mean, that album means a lot to us just because
he was a huge proponent of it.
Absolutely. I mean, as you know, he did sound at Yodi for the longest time, and that's the first places. Even when we weren't in the band together, that's the first places we played. Like, I mean, at a bar,
all ages shows on Sundays.
Yeah.
So
when we were still in high school.
Yeah. So like, I mean, we knew Wookie for a long time, and it was one of those things where working with him was just kind of, I mean, it was very cohesive. Everything was just very good. Like, I mean, we knew him, he knew us, we knew each other's sound. It wasn't that we didn't like what we did with Nick, it was just we had that opportunity to record with him, so it was like, well, again, it's kind of like with the music where you don't always necessarily want to keep doing the same things. Like, you almost want to try different things and see what happens.
Of course, yeah.
So like, but this time we're going to go back to Nick just because it has been a while since we recorded with him. Uncle Tony, he's in a band called Miles from Exile.
Oh, I know them, yeah.
Yeah, so
awesome.
They record with them.
They do
regularly,
all of their stuff.
Okay. So I mean, yeah, he's comfortable working with them. So I think it's one of those things where, especially once we get into the studio, it'll mesh really well. Like, I mean,
we'll be able to knock it out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, you guys are all right. So, all right, let's go back one more time again, constantly, because that's what the show is.
Take it back.
All right, when do you guys plan to go into the studio?
March.
First weekend of March.
And optimistically, when would you release this album?
I guess
winter.
Oh,
maybe the end of summer.
Yeah, I would say hopefully while it's still somewhat warm.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's one of those things you definitely want to push as quickly as possible, but you still want a good product.
And like I said, we have stuff that's kind of already been in motion, so it's one of those things where, like, once the recording's done and things like that, we already have a lot of the artwork, so we're really trying to hit the ground running with it too. So we don't want to have to then have everything and then sit on it. Like, I mean, we want to hit it and be ready.
Are you guys going to be still playing shows and stuff while you're recording?
Right now we don't have anything booked before May, but our next show is with Jungle Rot at the Forge.
That's right, I saw that.
Thursday, awesome. May 7th. We do have tickets. I mean, if anyone wants tickets, they can hit us up. If not,
guys,
there'll be tickets at the door, I'm sure, too. But I mean, get them early. Like, I mean,
why would you do that though? You know, buy that, get it from them. Stupid. Save some money so you could buy the Forge's overpriced drinks.
Yeah.
Or buy a bottle of water, you know? Do whatever you gotta do. But, that's awesome, dude. You know, I've seen Jungle Rot so many times, and they usually come to Reggie's. It is interesting that they're, diversifying.
I know that sometimes they do, just because, like, it's also good to play out of the city sometimes, too. So I know
they used to play Bada Brew quite a bit, and I don't think that's there anymore.
No, they tried to keep it open, and then I don't know what happened, but I haven't seen them around.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know, I think that's kind of, they're just looking to play out there to kind of cater to that audience, because it's also hard for a lot of those people from that area to come all the way up to the Reggie's.
It's a really good lineup, too.
Yeah.
Whoever, I think it's, what's her name?
Nikki.
Nikki from the Ford, she actually put together a really good lineup. Which is great.
And I'll say too, like working with them, like it's been awesome so far. Like they've been really cool with us.
Oh yeah,
and
they're very professional over there.
Yeah.
I've had the opportunity to play there under the new management. I think three times.
Okay.
And every time very professional, very very straightforward, and compared to Mojo's.
See, that's the last time we played there. That's when it was Mojo's.
Yeah,
it was Mojo's.
I think Mojo's really put
sour taste
a very sour taste in everybody's mouth.
Which, no lie, that's why originally when we saw the show and kind of reached out about it, we were even kind of like, all right, so what are we getting ourselves into?
Right. Yeah.
We'd never worked with them before, and our previous experience was with Mojo's, and while it wasn't necessarily like the worst experience, like I mean, it was what it was. Like I mean, it's nice to at least like talk to Nikki and again establish
have
that
somebody
relationship.
Respond to you.
Yeah, So I mean, we're really looking forward to that show because again, it's one of those things where that'll be when we'll probably be close, if not almost done with the record. I mean, we'll probably have some even like new songs for that show to play.
Definitely.
So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where now that we're starting to kind of get back into it, you feel that excitement again. Like I mean,
awesome. I'll tell you firsthand. A lot of people have asked about you. And like, what happened to Armored Assault?
and it's funny because again, not playing shows for a while, you go to shows, and then people are like, "So when are you guys playing a show again?"
Right?
Like,
I can't give you an answer right now.
That's what I mean. Like it's. Do you want the long answer?
Right, or we gotta teach
pull up a chair.
Yeah.
The songs.
It's nice to be able to like have people ask when we're playing next and be like, oh, we do have a show booked.
It's awesome to have you guys back.
Thank you.
This new album, how many tracks are you planning on having?
7 or 8.
Yeah, I think right now we're at 7, and depending on kind of how things go before we go in the studio, like, there could be another track or 2 added. So we're kind of at least 7.
Okay, at least 7. We thinking like an intro in the first track.
I don't know. We haven't really talked about that so far.
Yeah, we should probably figure it out.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. Think of the theme of your artwork.
Here I was talking about how we're prepared.
Right? No. Hey, you guys seem to have all the puzzle pieces in order, which is great.
Yeah, and honestly, it hasn't been easy. It's been a lot of us just kind of like, there's those times, man, where like shit happens, and it's just like, all right, well now we have to like wait a week or 2 and like see what happens. Like it's
definitely.
And honestly, I know it sounds cliche, but waiting is the hardest part, man. Like
it is,
honestly, like sometimes just knowing that like you're gonna go do something and just waiting to do it.
Just the anticipation building up.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's nice to be back out there again. We just played that last show. It's nice to have another show booked. We actually, I don't know how much we can say about it, but we have another show booked for June right now.
Okay.
It'll be at Cobra Lounge.
Hopefully by that, this will probably come out. I'm hoping in April, because I want to give myself a little time just to, relax for a second before I start hitting it hard with all these episodes I'm about to do.
Yeah.
But in April when this comes out, hopefully you guys will already have confirmed that show.
Yeah. Right now I'm pretty sure it's June 5th at Cobra Lounge. I don't know if we can divulge exactly who's on the bill yet or anything like that.
It's going to be a good line.
All you gotta know is look at these guys' Facebook page.
Look at these guys.
Look at these guys. Look at Uncle Tony.
Uncle Tony isn't on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, you can find them on their Facebook page. They got all their events listed. I'm sure, I don't know when you guys have plans to release everything incrementally, like here's the artwork, here's a t-shirt design.
I was going to say, honestly right now,
we're just focused on just getting in the studio and finally getting this thing tracked.
Oh, yeah.
And then once that's done, then
you could start making like
start
merch
figuring out
ideas.
everything else.
Oh yeah, we already have a few of those. There's definitely been those moments where like I've like just hovered over the post with like the new like artwork, and I'm just like, I shouldn't do that.
Hey, you know what? Start recording. While that's happening, you can think of a game plan.
Absolutely, honestly, I think as much as I said waiting is the hardest part, it also gives you that chance to think things through and how you're gonna
make sure we do everything right.
Yeah, so we don't rush into anything or do anything without thinking about it.
Like, definitely, yeah. This truly is the hardest part, is just waiting and doing what you got to do, and formulating a plan essentially. Yeah. You know, but you know, once you guys get back out there with this new album, I'm sure you'll have a seeded release party.
Oh yeah.
Hit us up.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'd love to play it.
I was saying, you guys were at the last one.
We were at the last one, but you know, it's good. It's good that you guys are back. It's good. You know, you got this new lineup. I'm sure you guys are just happy that you're active again. You know?
Dude, yeah, honestly,
it's a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, it is good. And honestly, as much as we love the old members of the band too, I mean, yeah, Billy, Tony, they bring an awesome attitude to the band. So it is also that too that makes it just fun.
That
exactly, you know? But like it's just been so much fun. Like also working with them and working towards new stuff that it definitely kind of revitalizes everything.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Everyone's motivated and kind of just like focused and back on track and ready to go.
That's awesome. Well, guys, you can find these guys on all the streaming platforms.
Yeah, we're on Spotify,
Bandcamp.
Yeah, Bandcamp, iTunes, MySpace, YouTube,
all of FaceSpace.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Is MySpace even still a thing?
I don't know. It was for a while, and they were really working. They were plugging music.
Let's bring it back.
They're like the anti-Facebook. They're like, come back, please. But you can find them on all the platforms. Find them on Facebook to keep updated on what's going on with their album. And guys, episode 1, season 2, we did it.
We did it.
We did it.
Cheers, boys.
Oh yeah, cheers. There you go.
Yeah. Coffee time.
Boom. Coffee time. Ooh. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Oh, dude, thank you.
I need some extra footage for the blurry part at the end. All right, cool. We did it.
You're a big fan of coffee. Do you like Devin Townsend?
Yeah. Did he just release his own coffee?
No, but have you listened to like Ziltoid?
No.
It's a whole concept album about
coffee.
About an alien.
I've heard things here and there, you know.
It's about an alien that comes to Earth in search of the
ultimate cup of coffee.
Nice.
Dude, you would fucking.
The first one was awesome.
Yeah, the second one.